Hi everyone, I'm Francesco Vona from University of Applied Sciences Hamm-Lippstadt. Today I will present our work on audio-only augmented reality navigation, focusing on how different spatialized audio cues and device types influence user experience and performance. This work was conducted at the University of Applied Sciences Hamm-Lippstadt and builds on our previous research on AR audio navigation. It was possible thanks to the support of several national and European research projects, namely DDMO6R, Digitalized South Westphalia, and Ariadne. Navigation systems in augmented reality are still largely visually dominated. While visual overlays can be effective, they also compete with real-world visual information, which is especially problematic in outdoor environments where attention, safety, and situational awareness are critical. Audio-based navigation provides a compelling alternative as it allows users to keep their eyes on the environment while still receiving continuous guidance. Spatialized audio, in particular, leverages human spatial hearing capabilities to convey direction and distance, effectively acting as an acoustic compass. This makes audio-only AR navigation especially relevant for outdoor mobility, accessibility, and hands-free use cases. Previous research has demonstrated that spatialized audio can improve orientation, immersion, and navigation performance in both virtual and augmented environments. However, much of this work either focuses on laboratory settings, indoor scenarios, or a single device class, typically head-mounted displays. Smartphone-based AR navigation, despite being the most widespread access point to AR, is often treated as a secondary platform with limited spatial fidelity. Additionally, many prior studies focus primarily on subjective measures, with fewer incorporating objective trajectory-based performance metrics. As a result, there is still limited empirical evidence on how sound design and device type interact, particularly in outdoor, ecologically valid settings. Based on these gaps, we formulated three guiding research questions. First, we ask how different audio use categories, specifically artificial versus nature-based sounds, influence navigation experience and performance. Second, we examine whether the device type itself, a handheld smartphone versus a mixed reality headset, meaningfully affect outcome in audio-only navigation. And third, we explore whether prior experience with audio AR navigation leads to learning effects influencing either perceived efficiency or actual performance. To address these questions, we implemented a within-subjects experimental design with two independent variables, sound category and device type. Sound category had two levels, a nature-based continuous river sound and an artificial electronic beep. Device type had also two levels, a smartphone and a mixed reality headset. This resulted in 4 experimental conditions, and each participant experienced all of them. To mitigate order and learning effects, we used a Latin square counterbalancing scheme. The selection of audio cues was informed by prior work that showed strong differences in user preference between sound categories. The nature sound was a continuous river stream characterized by broadband spectral content and low to mid frequency fluctuations, often associated with pleasantness and restorative effects. The artificial sounds was a repetitive electronic beep with a narrow band spectrum and sharp onset, designed to be highly salient and easy to localize. Both sounds were spatialized and rendered continuously, allowing participants to infer direction and distance without relying on speech or semantic information. We compared two fundamentally different AR platforms. The smartphone condition used an iPhone 16 Pro held in the participant's hand. The headset condition used a MetaQuest 3 operating in pass-through mode. Importantly, no visual AR elements were shown on either device. The task was entirely audio-driven. Spatial audio was delivered via AirPods Pro with head tracking enabled, ensuring consistent binaural rendering across both platforms and allowing us to isolate device form factor effects rather than audio hardware differences. Participants navigated along predefined outdoor routes on a university campus. Each route consisted of a sequence of invisible checkpoints spaced at a fixed Euclidean intervals. At any given time, only one checkpoint was active and acted as the spatial sound source. The sound dynamically changed in intensity based on distance and in spatial direction based on the participant's orientation. Once a checkpoint was reached, the sound shifted to the next one, ensuring continuous guidance while preventing auditory clutter from multiple targets. We combine multiple data sources to obtain a comprehensive evaluation. Subjective experience was assessed using the user experience questionnaire covering pragmatic and hedonic dimensions, as well as the NASA TLX for perceived workload. We also included custom items targeting navigation effectiveness, pleasantness, device comfort, and audio cue clarity. Objectively, we measure task completion time and path efficiency using dynamic time warping, which quantifies deviations from the optimal path. Additionally, participants completed the Affinity for Technology interaction scale to capture individual differences. We initially recruited 34 participants. After excluding participants due to technical issues or missing data, the final sample consisted of 27 participants. Participants ranged in age from 19 to 41 and exhibit varying level of experience with XR technologies. Importantly, some participants had previously taken part in a related audio AR navigation study, which allowed us to analyze potential learning effects. Our analysis revealed clear effects on sound category on subjective experience. Nature-based sounds were rated significantly higher on the UEQ efficiency scale and on custom item measuring pleasantness. In contrast, device type showed no systematic influence on the subjective measures. This suggests that, from the user's perspective, the design of the audio cue itself plays a more dominant role than the choice of the hardware platform. For workload, we observed a significant interaction between sound category and device type in NASA TLX scores. However, postdoc comparisons did not remain significant after correction, so we interpret this result cautiously. Regarding objective performance, neither task completion time nor DTW-based path efficiency differed significantly across conditions. This indicates that while sound design strongly affects perceived experience, it does not necessarily translate into measurable navigance performance differences in this task. An additional analysis revealed a significant effect of prior experience. Participants who had previously attended an audio AR navigation study completed the task significantly faster than those without such experience. Interestingly, this performance benefit was not reflected in subjective efficiency rating. In conclusion, this study demonstrates that in outdoor audio-only AR navigation, cue design matters more than device type for shaping user experience. Nature-based soundscapes enhance pleasantness and perceived efficiency, while device form factor mainly influences ergonomics aspect rather than navigation outcomes. We also show that audio-only navigation is trainable with measurable performance gains after brief prior exposure. Future work should explore additional sound categories, adaptive cues design for noise environment, and personalization based on user preferences and hearing profiles. Thank you for your attention.